Hello everybody, Remedy X here with all things nerdy, and today I'm going to be doing a set review for Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Now, when I do this set review, I'm going to specifically be thinking competitive EDH. So, I'm going to be very critical on cards. These cards are obviously, a lot of them are going to be perfectly fine to be played in a more casual format, but I'm looking for competitive EDH. So we're only going to play the best of the best cards here, all right? So, going to be real critical on some of these. Some of these are really good. Some of them are not. So, I have not read everything. I've read some of the spoilers kind of as they came out, and then I decided I wanted to do this, so I stopped. All right, so today we're going to start with white. And this is the top of the list on Mythic Spoiler. So, we have a Planeswalker, 4 mana. Her name is the Wandering Emperor. Is this the Wanderer, by the way, from War of the Spark? Is it? Or is it just like someone different that's the Wandering Emperor? She does kind of have the hat, I can't think of the name of that hat, but she does have that style. She definitely could be the Wanderer from War of the Spark. I want to know what her actual name is, though. But anyway, Legendary Planeswalker, 2 white, 2 generic. Has Flash. As long as the Wandering Emperor entered the battlefield this turn, you may activate her activated abilities anytime you could cast an instant. So you are still limited to 1 a turn, but you get to flash her in and use one of her abilities that turn. You don't even have to use that ability right away. It's anytime you could use an instant that turn. So she's alright. +1, put a 1/1 counter on target creature. It gains first strike until the end of the turn. Could be just a solid combat trick. 4 mana. She enters, puts a 1/1 counter, gives first strike as like a defending kind of thing. Oh, my creature's 1 bigger, has first strike, and now I actually kill you. There's no trade or anything, and then I just still have a Planeswalker sitting around. -2, create a 2/2 Samurai creature token with Vigilance. Surprise blocker, could be really good. -2, exile target tapped creature, you gain 2 life. So exile like an attacking creature that I can't get big enough to block. Overall, this is a casual card. This is not going to be a competitive card. This card strictly wants to deal with combat, which is not something that happens that much in CDH. There are some decks that do, like Winota, Kinnan can definitely do it. There's definitely some Nigella can. Um, what's his name? Mono red samurai guy. Godo. Yeah, Godo. He's purely combat, but he's like a combo combat kind of thing. Um, so she's okay. She's gonna be really good for casual and standard play and stuff like that. She's not gonna be a CDH card. Ow, the Sky Dragon. 2 white, 3 generic. Flying Vigilance. When Ow the Dawn. Oh, the Dawn Sky. Sorry. I totally fucked up his name right there. I said the Sky Dragon, didn't I? The Dawn Sky dies. Choose 1. Look at the top 7 cards of your library. Put any number of non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest to the bottom of your library in a random order. Put 2 1/1 counters on each permanent you control that is a creature or vehicle. This one's interesting. It's a dies trigger, which is worse than enter the battlefield triggers because it doesn't happen right away. But you gotta look at the top 7 cards. Put any number of non-land permanent cards with total mana value 4 or less. So they're non-lands. So you're gonna get CDH. You're gonna get more because the average CMC of a deck is a lot lower in CDH. You could probably get 3 things off this. I would say because like the average CMC is gonna be 2. You might hit a 0 thing, maybe 2 1s. You're going to get 2 or 3 cards off this. It's generally not going to be worth it. There might be some way to make a dies loop with this, and if there is, you could go through your deck and grab everything that's 4 or less and put it into play, which could be cool, but I don't think it's competitive enough. So this one I think just out of. There might be a weird fringe case where this could have like some die loop, but I don't see that to be very likely. Farewell. Ooh, my phone's being a little weird when I scroll up like that. Or scroll down. 2 white, 4 for sorcery. Choose one or more. Exile all artifacts, exile all creatures, exile all enchantments, exile all graveyards. So, some decks might really like this. The problem is it's 6 mana for sorcery. If this was an instant, I think this card would see play. Just because things like, Cyclonic Rift sees play. Cyclonic Rift, it bounces everything your opponent's control. It's worse than Cyclonic Rift every single time. So, yeah, this card's not going to see play, I don't think. If it was an instant, it might see, like, a fringe play in, like, some really weird control Staxy shell, where you just keep all your creatures, because you have more creatures than your opponents, because you have all these hate bears and stuff like that. And then you exile all artifacts, enchantments, and graveyards. That way your opponents can't do graveyard shenanigans and stuff. And then you just have the biggest board presence and kill everyone. But, no. Nah, I really don't think this is going to see play. Invoke Justice. 4 white and 1 for sorcery. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your battlefield. Then distribute 4 1/1 counters among any number of creatures and or vehicles target player controls. So, this is a 5 mana return sorcery, which is not good. We already have that for 4 mana. And the added 1/1 counter distribution on this, I don't think is going to be super relevant. I don't think this card's going to see play. It's a fine card, and it's definitely going to be good in more casual formats where, hey, I just got to go return my big thing there and put a bunch of counters on it. Like, sure, it could be cool to get a Blightsteel in your... well, actually, Blightsteel goes back. What would not go back? Maybe like an Inkwell Leviathan or something. Yeah, something like that, and then you invoke it back and put counters on it. I don't think it's good enough. It's okay. It can get back non-creatures and non-vehicles, though. It can get back enchantments and whatever you need, as long as it's permanent. I'm yawning, and I still had tons of coffee, and it's like 3 in the afternoon. So, I don't know. But, yeah, no, I don't think this card's going to see it play. Not in CEDH. It'll see standard and casual. March of the Otherworldly Light. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you may exile any number of white cards from your hand. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each exiled this way. Exile target artifact, creature, or enchantment with mana value X or less. Okay, this is interesting. So this could be 1 mana, exile a Mox. This could be 2 mana, get rid of a mana dork. You don't give them a land for it, like Path to Exile does. If you have to discard cards for this, it feels really bad, especially since white does not have the best card advantage. In fact, it has the worst. This could be okay, actually. This one I would want to see more, because 1 mana, get rid of like a Mox or a Mana Crypt or something is actually really good. This card's pretty versatile. It can hit artifacts, creatures, or enchantments. Because X can be 0. It doesn't say X can't be 0. So if X is 0, you can hit all the 0-drop stuff. And then if you just pay 1 extra mana, so you 2 mana this, you get rid of all the 1-drops in the format, which is a ton. There's Mana Dorks, there's Esper Sentinels, there's tons of stuff. And it's exile removal too, so like if you dump 3 mana and exile someone's Dockside Extortionist, they can't do their recursion loops. This actually could be good. I think discarding with this is going to be a trap. But once you pay more than 3 mana for this, it's going to feel really bad, because Path to Exile just does that for 1 if you're getting a creature. But this could be 4 mana, get rid of Basalt Monolith or something that your opponent has. Or 3 mana Grim Monolith or whatever. This is really interesting. This one actually, I could see people playing this. I don't think that this card is amazing, and it's definitely not better than Path, but it's situationally better than Path to Exile. It definitely costs more mana, because for 1 mana, all you're hitting is 0 drops. Unless you have cost reducers. If you have cost reducers, it's like a 1 white for like, if you're reducing by 2, you can hit a 2-drop thing. This is interesting. This one could see some play. I don't think it's going to be a staple by any means. I think most people are still going to play Path to Exile, Swords to Plowshares over this, because they can hit any CMC creature they want. But this getting rid of artifacts and enchantments is quite good. Cloud Steel Kirin. 3 mana, artifact creature, equipment Kirin, flying. Whenever equipped creature has flying, you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Reconfigure 5 for a 3/2. So this is going to be 8 mana to say your opponents can't win the game and you can't lose the game, which is not good. When I first read this card, I thought it was actually going to be kind of good, but I thought that the your opponents can't win, you can't lose effect happened while it was still just a creature. So it was 3 mana, play it, and that effect happens. It does not. This card only does that effect when it's equipped into something, which costs 5 mana to reconfigure and equip to it. Yeah. This is just, it's too costly. It's going to be 8 mana to say your opponents can't win the game and you can't lose, when we have the split second card in white for 1 mana that does that. So now it's only till the end of the turn. This is forever, but generally all you need to do is stop 1 turn and then you're alright. So this is the first one I have to actually click on. These Sagas, they have a flip face, so I gotta click on it. Ooh. What the hell? Go back. Okay. Are we good, phone? Did we get it? 3 mana, search your library for a basic plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand. Then shuffle. It's phase 2. You may discard a card. When you do, return target permanent card from mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. 3, exile this, return it. Yeah, so you transform it. When do you do it? Under... Oh, immediately. Okay. Vigilance. When Architect of Restoration attacks or blocks, put a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Or create a colorless. Okay. So this one's interesting. So it's 3 mana, you get a plains, which is very slow. And it's a basic plains to your hand. Okay. Phase 2 is the one that I'm actually interested in. When it goes to phase 2, you could discard a card. If you do, you can return a 2 mana or less. Is it a permanent? Okay, so it's just a permanent with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. So that could be like Dockside Extortionist. That can be a lot of things. That effect's really good. Then you exile it, and it comes back as a mediocre card. It's like a Brimaz, but not as good. Okay. I think this card's too slow. If its first 2 phases were you discard a card, you can recur a thing, then it would be really, really, really good. Because this could pair very well with like a Dockside. I could see someone turn 1 Dockside and this, grab their land, turn 2, discard that land. No, because Dockside would still be in play. You have to have a way to kill your Dockside. There's some weird loops I'm sure you could do with this, with Dockside Extortionist especially, but I think it's way too much work for what you're going to get out of it. You know what? I think we'll go like this. This should limit us just to white, right? Yeah! C is not so much better. Oh, but now I gotta go crossed. Okay. Yeah. Brilliant Restoration. Return all artifacts and enchantment cards from your graveyard to the battlefield for 7 mana. No. Too expensive. 7 mana sorcery. Doesn't even win the game. You do get a lot of artifacts and enchantments back, but nope. I mean, it could just win the game depending on the artifacts in your graveyard, but I'm assuming no. I don't think this card's good enough at all, especially with 4 white mana. If it was like 2 white mana and 5 generic, you could like cost reduce this down and try to get it to work, but it's way too much work and not good enough. Lion Sash. 2 mana for a artifact, creature, equipment, cat. 1 mana. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a permanent card, put a 1/1 counter on Lion Sash. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each 1/1 counter on Lion Sash. Reconfigure. Okay. So this is like white scavenging ooze. I like this. This is just white scavenging ooze. Right? Because it's 2 mana for a 1/1. Exile a card from a graveyard. If it was a permanent, put a 1/1 counter on Lion Sash. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each counter on Lion Sash. That's fine. That's actually fine. That's perfectly reasonable scavenging ooze. Reconfigure too, but that's not super important. Yeah, you can only reconfigure as a sorcery. If you could do that at instant speed, actually, that'd be really good. But no, it's perfectly fine. This is just white scavenging ooze. You don't get, yeah, because doesn't scavenging ooze gain you life if it was something else or something like that? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but yeah, no, this just gets bigger if it eats a permanent. 1 mana can do that at instant speed. The equipped creature gets 1/1 is not super relevant because, I mean, you don't need to equip this. You could equip this to, like, a flyer and start getting in there for some actual damage, which is actually really cool. And you can keep doing the exile effect while it's on there. And then if, I believe with the way Reconfigure works, it works like Bestow, that if the equipped creature dies, this goes back to being a creature. So it like can protect your Lion Sash too. So this is like a resilient scavenging ooze too, because if you get to equip it on something, they have to then kill that and then it, unless they just have destroy artifact thing, because this does die to all artifact and creature removal, but it stops being a creature when you equip it. So that's actually really solid. I like that a lot. I did not read that card earlier, so that's really good. Koidra's Soul of Kamigawa. Kodaya? I would assume. Soul of Kamigawa. 1 white and 3. Legendary creature, Dragon Spirit, Flash Flying. When it enters the battlefield, another permanent gains indestructible for as long as you control Kodaya. Pay 5, Kodaya gets 5/5 until the end of the turn. This probably will see some play, just because it's 5 color. Because this could be your commander, and you can just like protect something that's important. This probably will see some play as a commander, just because it's 5 color, and you'll just throw it in there as your commander, and there'll be games you just never cast this ever. But then there's also going to be times where people are going to go destroy something that's important to one of your combos, and you're going to be like, nope, stop it for 4 mana. This probably will see some play. I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's better than Kenrith or anything like that. There's other things that do it better, but this probably will see some play. People will toy with this and try it. So, okay. Blade Blizzard Kitsuken. Yeah, Kitsuken. Whatever. 3 mana for a Fox Ninja. 4 mana for ninjutsu, and it has double strike. No. This is just a casual double striker. has ninjutsu, which is cool and all, but no, it's not. It's not gonna do anything. We're getting down to uncommons and stuff, so the quality of cards is gonna go down here, and there's gonna be less and less playable things. Whenever oh sorry, 3 mana for 2 and a white. Imperial Recovery Unit. Artifact Vehicle. Whenever Imperial Recovery Unit attacks, return target creature or vehicle with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. Crew 2. Okay. This could be okay. I'm not typically a big fan of vehicles. This one does get you cards back, though. Like, it could be... Is it permanent? Target creature or vehicle. Okay, so it's more restrictive. Never mind. This card probably won't be that good, then. Buying back creatures could be okay. Getting back vehicles is not going to be okay. If this got back any card, then this card would actually be really good, because you could just start getting back like your counter spells and stuff like that. So this card would be really good in that form, but it only gets back creatures or vehicles, which is way too restrictive for what I think it wants, because if this could even get lands back, you could start getting your fetch lands back, and it could start accruing you value, stuff like that. As it is, this card doesn't do as much as you need it to. Oh, this one also has another face. 2 mana. Target creature gets 1/1 until the end of the turn for each artifact and enchantment you control. Okay. Exile Return to the battlefield. Transformed. Portrait of Machiko gets 1/1 for each. Okay, so it's just like a Karn Golem. No. No, it's just like this weird anthem effect kind of thing. Not anthem, but it's weird combat trick-esque effect. It's cool and all, but no. For casual play, this card could be really good, but because that +1/+1 for each artifact and enchantment could be a lot, but nah. Go Shantali of Shrine Purpose. 1 white and 3 legendary enchantment creature Shrine Vigilance. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless creature spirit token for each shrine you control. I don't think shrines are going to be competitive type at all. They're not intended to be. There's nothing wrong with that. But they're just not going to be good. So even if you have 3 shrines in play, which is a lot, end of your turn, you're going to pay 1 mana and make 3 1/1s. And that's all this is going to do. They're not flying. They're spirits, yeah, but they're Kamigawa spirits, remember. They don't fly. They're just 3 1/1s. Not nearly enough for what you need. No. Light Paws Emperor Voice. 2 mana, a 1 and a white, legendary creature, Fox Advisor. Whenever an aura enters the battlefield under your control, if you cast it, you may search your library for an aura card with mana value less than or equal to the aura with a different name. Then each aura you control... Oh, with a different name than each aura you control. Put that card onto the battlefield. Attach Light Paws Emperor Voice. Oh, attached to Light Paws Emperor Voice, then shuffle. Okay. So, this card's kind of cool, but it's not going to do it. Auras is not a good typing. Any piece of removal just completely wipes this away. And it attaches to Light Paws as well, so you can't even play Pacify effects. There's like some Totem Armor stuff, which is cool and all. But no. This is not going to be good enough. And it's only white. This is a legendary creature, so if this was more colors, you could get like some like Bear Umbra and stuff on this, and like maybe there's some weird combo you can do, and she just tutors out more auras. But the auras we have just aren't good enough for this. So it's not this card's fault, it's the fact that our auras are bad. So like Rancor might be like the best aura. Bear Rare Umbra as well as like okay, but other than that, there's really not much. Okay, Torch the Spirit Realm. 1 white and 2 for an enchantment. When Torch the Spirit Realm enters the battlefield, exile up to 1 target artifact or creature until the end of the turn's until Torch. Oh, not till the end of the turn. I don't know what the fuck I'm reading. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature until Torch of the Spirit Realms leaves the battlefield. There we go. I don't know why that was so hard. So it's a yeah. Yeah, it's an O-ring effect. There we go. But it has an upside. It has channel. White and 1. Discard Torch of the Spirit Realm. Exile target artifact or creature. Return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Okay. So it could be 2 mana blink a thing, or 3 mana O-ring something. Now it can O-ring artifacts and creatures, which is fine. They're just better. This card's fine, but no, there's better effects out there. There's 2 mana Banishing Light, which is probably just better than this. And people don't even play Banishing Light. Not very much. Unless you're like maybe in a what's his name? Zerta? He's Esper blue, white, black 1 for like a 3/4. When he attacks, he grabs an enchantment from his decks and puts it into play. 3 mana or less. I can't think of his name. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it might be fine in that, but other than that, yeah. When we were young. 3 mana and 1 instant. Up to 2 target creatures get 2/2 until the end of the turn. If you control an artifact and an enchantment, those creatures also gain lifelink. Until the end of the turn, obviously. No, combat tricks are not good. And this is a 4 mana combat trick. It does give 4/4 and probably lifelink to 2 creatures. 2/2, 2/2, you know. So you're giving 4/4 in stats, and then you're giving lifelink. No, it's not going to be good enough. Sky Blessed Samurai. 6 and 1 white. Enchantment creature, human samurai. The spell costs 1 less to cast for each enchantment you control. Flying. No. You could get this down where you literally pay 1 mana for this, but it is just going to be a 1 mana 4/4 flyer. We already have Sarah's Ascended, I think. It's like 1 white for a 1/1. If you have 25 or more life, it becomes like a 5/5, and it has lifelink and flying. It's just way better because it has lifelink and flying. So like, there's no reason you're ever gonna play this. It's more work and just not as good of a payoff. Selfless Samurai. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, it gains lifelink until the end of the turn. Sacrifice Selfless Samurai. Another target creature you control gains indestructible until the end of the turn. So, no. Giving your creatures lifelink is not the best. Like, life doesn't matter an awful lot in CEDH. It's a resource that you can use, right? Like, you can take advantage of having more life, but, like, getting your life higher than 40 doesn't generally matter all too much unless you're going to do Aetherflux Reservoir stuff, which, if you're going to do that, you're just going to storm into it anyway and gain all the life that way. So gaining an extra 2 for 6 life even isn't that, not that much. And then it just has like a Selfless Spirit effect, but Selfless Spirit is all your creatures. So if you're going to play this, just play Selfless Spirit instead. Oh, this is another one I got to click on. Okay. The Fall of Lord Conda. 3 mana, 1 white and 2. Exile target creature and opponent controls with mana value 4 or greater. Phase 2, each player gains control of all permanents they own. Okay. Exile the Saga Return. Yeah, so it just transforms. Defender, when it dies, draw a card. No, absolutely not. It is a 3 mana exile effect, but you can just do that with 1 for Swords to Plowshares or Path Exile. Regaining your permanents is not super relevant. Like, there's like Gilded Drake, and there's a few things in the format that do that, but generally it's not gonna be super relevant. And then the transform side's just bad. It's just a 1/3 with Defender, and when it dies, you draw a card. Yeah, no, it's not. Okay, Dragonfly Suit. This card looks cool. It looks like a mech, but 3 mana, a white and 2, flying, crew 1, 3/2. Nope. It's just a flying creature for vehicle. Hot Shot Mechanic. Hot Shot Mechanic crews vehicles as though it were its power were 2 greater. So this could crew a 4, right? Because it has 2. It's a 2/1. This is oddly like an aggressive 2/1 for 1, which is kind of cool. And then it can crew as though it was like a 4. So this crews well, so it's going to be good for casual, but not for competitive. White, Banishing Slash. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or tapped creature. Then, if you control an artifact or enchantment, create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. The fact that this is a sorcery is what actually makes this bad. If this was an instant, pay 2 white to get rid of an artifact, enchantment, or a tapped creature is actually a totally fine effect. It's like Path to Exile, except you're paying 1 more, but you're not giving them the land, which is actually pretty big. If this was an instant, I would play this, but it's a sorcery, so no. It could see like some really weird niche play, but I don't think it's worth it. So, and getting the 2/2 is like whatever. It's just a 2 mana destroy effect in white, which is good, but sorcery speed makes it bad. Born to Drive. 1 white and 2 for an enchantment or enchant artifact or creature. As long as enchanted permanent is a creature, it gains 1/1 for each creature and or vehicle you control. Okay, so it makes a creature big. And then it has 3 and 2 discard. Born to Drive, create 2 1/1 white colorless pilot creature tokens. With this creature can crew vehicles as though its power were 2 greater. So they can crew as 3. So it's fine for casual play. It's not going to see any competitive play, obviously. Enchanting your creature and making it big is cool, but it actually might just be better to channel it, because if you channel it, you get essentially 2 3/1s for crewing, which can crew multiple things, or it can crew a 6th thing. So cool for vehicle decks, but no, not for competitive. Nikora Yamazaki the Poet. Okay. 1 white and 2. Legendary creature, human samurai, has vigilance. When a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may cast target enchantment card from your graveyard this turn. Okay. This one's interesting. So, you're not going to have a lot of samurai. But if you can, like, swing this girl in alone at someone, you can then cast your Underworld's Breach again from your graveyard, because people stopped you. What other... You could get Mystic Remora back that you didn't pay for. Okay. I'm trying to think if this card does enough. I don't think it does. I think it has some application. Like I said, it could get back Underworld's Breach, it could get back a Mystic Remore, it could get back a Ristic Study that someone countered or something. Um, it could get back some pretty decent things. Problem being is you don't have a lot of enchantments that are going to go to your graveyard a lot. And then she has to attack alone, so it's probably only going to be a one-time thing because you're going to swing in and she's going to get killed. This does not ignore timing restrictions, so you cannot cast your Underworld Breach in response to her attacking and then use your Underworld Breach stuff to... No, you can't do that. It just says you can cast them this turn, or that card this turn. So, she's cool. I could see her doing some really weird stuff. No, overall, I don't think she's going to see play. I don't think she's good enough, but she's close. If they made this card like a rare or something, or a mythic, and they like pushed her a little more, I could see it. If she was like, make her a mythic, make her a 3-mana, 3/2, just like she is, give her haste, and then when she enters the battlefield, you search your library for an enchantment and put it into your graveyard. That way she could be like a Goblin Welder effect for enchantments, kind of. I could see that being really good. She's just a little too weak. Maybe don't give her haste. Maybe that's too good, but 3-mana, 3/2. If she like could tutor that enchantment and put it into your graveyard, absolutely. But she does not. So yeah, it's gonna be a no. She's cool though. I do like her. Golden Tail Disciple. She's probably actually one of the one of the better like common and uncommons that I've seen. Like the rest of them have been just straight up no's, but she's like, if someone tried, I'd be surprised, but at the same time, I could be like, oh, that's really cool, and I respect that. Golden Tail Disciple. 2 and a white enchantment creature, Fox Monk. Lifelink, 2/3. No. Just a lifelinker. Imperial Oath, 6 mana, create 3/2/2 creature tokens with vigilance and scry. No. Intercessor's Arrest. I think that's how you use that. 1 in white and 2 enchantment or enchant permanent. Cannot attack, block, or crew vehicles. Its activated abilities can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. Nah. It's just an arrest effect that stops them from crewing. Nah. Kitsune Ace. White and 1, creature Fox Pilot. Whenever a vehicle you control attacks alone, choose one. That vehicle gains first strike until the end of the turn. Untap Kitsune Ace. Okay. It's cool for vehicles. Not gonna see any play though. Lucky Offering. Destroy target artifact with mana value 3 or less. You gain 3 life. Yes. Finally. White got... is it called Nature's Claim? Let me look it up real quick. What was that green... It's a sorcery, which is like unfortunate, but it was 1 mana, destroy an artifact with 3 mana value 3 or less. I'm looking it up real quick. I think it's Nature's Claim, right? Or Natural something. I think it's Nature's. Yeah, Nature's Claim. Okay, I was right. Yeah, is Nature's Claim an instant? Yes. Okay, so it is worse than Nature's Claim because this is a sorcery, but it's 1 white for this effect. So if you are in non-green decks, this card is actually going to be very good for you. It's not even going to be an expensive card. Nature's Claim is only like $1.30 for what this is telling me right now. So yeah, this is going to be a really cool card. This is going to see some play. It's weird that like This is the one I'm the most confident in out of any of the cards that I've seen so far. Yeah, this is just... So, it also doesn't get rid of enchantments, actually. So this is strictly worse than Nature's Claim. But it's in white. This gets rid of Basalt Monolith, Grim Monolith, Mana Crypt, all the Moxen. This gets rid of so much. I definitely think this is going to see play. It is worse than Nature's Claim, though, because it does not get rid of enchantments. And this has a CMC cap. So Nature's Claim, I'll read it real quick. 1 green for an instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Its controller gains 4 life. This is destroy target artifact with mana value 3 or less. You gain 3 life. So this gives you life, but it gets rid of their artifact or enchantment. So, nope. This is similar to Nature's Claim, but not as good. You gaining the life is kind of cool though, but for some reason when I read this, I read that the opponent gained life, but that might have been because I was thinking of Nature's Claim when I read this card. But it does, like, the 3 mana value cap is kind of sucky, but at the same time, most things are 3 mana or less. This is just going to be a 1 white, get rid of artifact and enchantments. It's just going to be a disenchant effect, but for 1 mana, and it's better. Inganjo Impaler. White and 1 enchant creature, human samurai. Whenever a samurai or a warrior you control attacks alone, it gets 1/1 until the end of the turn. So it's just a exalted trigger for specific card typing. It's bad. Wanderer's Intervention. Okay, so that means it is probably the Wanderer. That's cool. I do like that we got another version of the Wanderer, and we see her face. We still don't know her name, though. The Wanderer's Intervention deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. It's not going to see competitive play because it is combat related, essentially. Just as Jinjigatsu's victory seemed certain, the Wanderer appeared, her blade already in motion. 1 mighty slash was enough to take the Praetor out of the fight. Did she kill Jinjitaxis? Ooh, spicy story stuff. It doesn't say she killed him, it says take him out of the fight, so maybe wounded him really bad. Okay. The Wanderer got a lot more interesting. She's apparently strong enough to just, like, fuck up Jinjitaxis. That's cool. But no, the card's not playable, but the story behind it's really cool. Repel the Vile. 1 white and 3, instant. Choose 1. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. Exile target enchantment. No. This is 4 mana for exile creature effect, like we talked about, with Path to Exile doing that for 1. And it doesn't have a stipulation on the power and toughness. The exile enchantment versatility is cool and all, but we just talked about that other card being Nature's Claim. You're just, well, no, that only got rid of artifacts. So now there's still just going to be better. 100%. There's going to be better. So no, you're not going to play this. Regent's Authority. Instant. Target creature you control gets 2/2 until the end of the turn. If it's an enchantment creature or a legendary creature, instead put a 1/1 counter on it and it gets 1/1 until the end of the turn. That's cool. But no, it's not good enough, but it's cool. It instead, so it's a combat trick, but if your creature is an enchantment or a legendary, it gets to keep 1 of that power. That's cool for sure, but it's not good enough. 1 white, Moth Rider Patrol, 1 white. Creature Fox Warrior, flying. Pay 3 and a white, tap target creature. No. These effects are for limited, really, for the most part. So, 7 Tail Mentor. 4 mana, 3 and a white. Creature Fox Samurai. Enters the battlefield or dies, put a 1/1 counter on target creature or vehicle you control for a 2/3. No. again, it's just combat-based stuff. It's not going to be relevant. Light the Way. 1 white, instant, choose 1. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature or vehicle, untap it. Return target permanent you control to its owner's hand. Okay. No. It does, like, get to bounce your stuff and save your thing, but you would rather reverberate your thing most of the time because it'll save it and you don't have to recast it. And then the untapped creature or vehicle is really not. Like, honestly, the untap part is the most important out of that first line, is you could untap your creature and stuff. But it is cool with, like, Incubation Druid. You could tap Incubation Druid to make a white mana, to put a 1/1 counter on Incubation Druid and untap it, and then tap Incubation Druid for 3 mana because that's a 1/1 counter. But that's just, like, a weird scenario, and I don't think this is going to see play. So, Sunblade Samurai. 5 mana, 4/1, white, for an enchantment creature, human samurai, vigilance channel. Pay 2, discard Sunblade Samurai. Search your library for a basic plains, reveal it, and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library, you gain 2 life. No. It is cool that it can get you a basic plains, but if you're not doing that effect, it is a 5 mana, 4/4 vigilance, which is not good at all. And then 2 mana to get you a basic plains is not good enough. Another saga I have to click on. What's with all the sagas being... I don't know. Befriending the Moths. 3/1, white for phase 1 and 2 is target creature you control gets 1/1 and gains flying until the end of the turn. And then it exiles and becomes a 2/4 flyer. No, so it's cool that it gives, like, your thing 1/1 and flying, but it just 4 mana for that, it's not good enough. Ooh, we're reaching the end. Alright. Ancestral Katana. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, you may pay 1. If you do, attach the katana to it. Equipped creature gets 2/1, and it has equipped 3. Nah, it's just like a tribal deck kind of thing. Spirited Companion. 2 mana. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. No, it's cute. Cute doggo, but no. Like, Philithip is better because he can draw you 2 if you can get him from your deck. So, and he doesn't even see play, so no, he's not good enough. Sorry. Cute doggo, but not good enough. Imperial Subduer. 2 white, or 2 generic and a white for a creature, human samurai. Whenever a samurai or a warrior you control attacks alone, tap target creature you do not control. Nah, just tribal stuff. And the last thing's a saga that I have to click on again. These are annoying. 2 mana, 1 white, and a generic. Phase 1, scry 2. Phase 2, gain 2 life. Phase 3, transform it, and it's a 2/2 first striker. No. I was actually, this one, like, kind of got me thinking because it's 2 mana, and so it's cheap, and it starts off with scry 2, but then it was gain 2 life, and that's not what you want, and then it just transforms, and it's just a 2/2 first striker. It was close. Not really. If instead of, like, gain 2 life, it was, like, draw a card or something, then it actually could kind of be good. Because it'd be scry 2, and then you draw for your turn, and then you would draw another card. So it would be good, but no, it's gain 2 life. But, almost, but no cigar. And that is it for the white stuff that shows here, but I know there's more white stuff, because if we go all the way down to the bottom here, we get the things that are in the commander decks, which is this section. So I'm just going to skip past everything that is not mono white. So this should be the first mono white, right? Yeah. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. But it is a... fine. Myojin, the Blooming Dawn, I think. It is an 8 mana, 5 and 3 white for legendary creature spirit. When it enters the battlefield... it enters the battlefield with an indestructible counter on it. You may, if you cast it from your hand. Okay. Remove an indestructible counter from it. It creates a 1/1 spirit creature token for each permanent you control. No. It is an 8 mana, 4/6 indestructible that has to lose its indestructibility to make you some 1/1s. Nope. Yoshimaru the Ever Faithful. 1 white for a 1/1 legendary creature dog. Whenever another legendary permanent enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Yoshimaru the Ever Faithful. And it has partner. Oh. I don't know what to think about this. It's actually really cool. I'm trying to think like what deck might want this, and I was like Sisei because it's legendary for 1, but no, Sisei doesn't have a problem getting white. It has partner, which is cool, but I don't know what you would want to partner with because white's not exactly the color you want to partner with. It can get kind of big, but no. Yeah, I just don't think it's good enough. I want it to be good enough. I want Doggo to be good enough, but Doggo's not good enough. I got excited for a second, though. Swift Reconfiguration. Enchantment Aura Flash. Enchant creature or vehicle. Enchanted permanent is a vehicle artifact with crew 5 and loses all other card types. So I've seen some stuff about this card. Specifically with infinite mana, with Bloom Tender. Not Bloom Tender. Devoted Druid. That one. Because Devoted Druid is 2 mana, tap to make a green. You can put a negative counter on it to untap it, and then tap it to make a green. When it becomes a vehicle, it keeps all of its effects, but because it's no longer a creature, the negative counters won't kill it. Because its base power and toughness doesn't matter now. So, you can make infinite green mana with this. I don't think it's good enough for CEDH. Some people are going to try this, for sure. Some people are going to be like, oh, it's a 2-card combo. You're just not going to get them together enough. You guys, don't try this card unless you have more. If you have more things that this just says, hey, do this infinite combo with, then maybe. But there's like a black one that makes your opponent discard their entire hand, but it's 5 mana plus this is 1. Then there's another, like a white one, but it's just not enough, you guys. People are gonna try this one for sure. I don't think it's good enough. Oddly enough, you can throw it on your opponent's creature though, and make it where they can't attack you and stuff. But that's generally not a bad thing either, because most of their creatures they're not gonna want to swing in with. It's just to accrue value. Drum Bellower. 2 generic and 1 white for a creature spirit with flying. Hey, a Kamigawa spirit has flying. Untap. Ooh, I'm getting messages. Untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. So this is half of a Seedborn Muse. This is okay, actually. This is gonna probably see some play in things like Chulane, maybe Winota. It's like a pseudo vigilance kind of thing. Yeah, I think this is gonna see some play. I don't think it's amazing, but it's gonna see some. There's a blue card in this set, blue-white card in this set that it pairs with very well, and I'm going to be building as a casual deck, and when I have that deck list out, I will definitely show that to you guys, and this is a really key part to its combo, but no, it's okay. It's going to see some play. I keep thinking of a meme that I just need to make the meme. It's, the State Farm commercial where the guy's carving Jake from State Farm's face into a wooden stick or whatever, and he tells him that he's become his muse. It'll be like white players, drum bellower, you've become my muse, and it'll be like a Seedborn Muse in his hand. yeah, I just keep thinking of it. This card's kind of cool. I think it will see some play, but nothing busted. I could be wrong on that though. This card actually could be kind of busted, depending on the shell it gets in. Like Sisei would probably, if this was legendary, Sisei would go nuts. Sisei would love this. So it'd just be like Bloom Tender, your color producer, enough where Bloom Tender taps for 5, this, and then Sisay just gets a tutor every turn. Erail Surveyor? Aerial Surveyor? Yeah. 2 and a white for an artifact vehicle, flying. When Aerial Surveyor attacks it, if defending player controls more lands than you, search your library for a basic plains, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Crew 2. Okay. I mean, that's cool. It is more land ramp in white, which is something that it needs. And it's more consistent, because there's things that, like, enter the battlefield if an opponent has more land than you get to do it. But there's not a lot that you can do every turn. So if you're reversing that green guy that's putting a bunch of lands in play, you just keep hitting him with a 3/4 flyer, and you keep getting more lands too. You could also slap a Sword of the Animist on here. So casual is going to love this. I don't think competitive is going to use this at all, but casual is going to love this. It's definitely a cool card. Iron Soul Enforcer, 4 and a white for 5 mana total. Artifact creature, human samurai. Whenever Iron Soul Enforcer or a commander you control attacks alone, return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, for 4/4. The thing that's making this not good is it's 5 mana. If this was 3 mana for like a 2/2, this would see play. The fact that this is 5 mana, this will not see play. If it does, it is going to be very little. Swinging in with your commander, getting an artifact back could be super good, but it's just not enough. It's too much mana. 10 mana. Okay. Organic Extinction. 8 and 2. Sorcery. Improvise. So you may cast or tap artifacts like Convoke for. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Okay. This scares me for what it means for the lore. The lore means everyone's gonna die. But no. This is just a board wipe. This is gonna see casual play for sure. There's gonna be artifact decks that abuse this, but nah. I don't think it's gonna see play, because it only kills creatures. Non-artifact creatures too. Release to memory. 3 and a white, exile target opponent's graveyard. For each creature card exiled this way, create a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. Nah, we have better graveyard hate than this. That's what this is primarily for. In other formats, you're going to actually care about the spirits. We're not going to care about the spirits because we don't do combat. Yeah, it's just 4 mana to exile a graveyard, which there's much better to do, so I think that's it. I want to go check out the lands really quick to see if there's any, because I know there's there's a good land for each color. In Ganjo, Seat of the Empire, I think. Legendary land. Okay, so Sisay can tutor it. Tap, add a white. Channel, you can discard it. It deals 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each legendary creature you control. Ooh, it's cool. I think this will see play. I don't see why not. It's just a It's just a white land that does not enter tapped, and then it still taps for white, so it's just a plains, right? You might as well just replace the plains in your deck with this. And it has some upside that if someone is attacking you, you can, in theory, 1 white to 4 damage it and kill it. So yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't play this. It is legendary, so you don't want to. So in other formats, you don't want to play a lot of them, but Yeah, I like this. This is cool. Um, I think this is good. This will see play for sure, but that's just because it's a land. It doesn't it doesn't matter. Like it just replaces the planes in your deck and you're good. Is there any other like white lands that I need to care about here? Let's just go over some of them real quick. Roadside Reliquary. Land has tap, add a colorless, pay 2, sack it, draw a card if you control an artifact, draw a card if you control an enchantment. Okay. It's not going to see play, but it's fine. Well, I mean, it could. So with lands, lands are so much what the user likes. They are much less. Like, there's some that are like really good, like Gaia's Cradle, and there's some like the OP lands that like if you're not playing, you're wrong. But there's other things that like this is an effect that I like and I can put in my deck as a land and it not have a big impact, but I get to use it when I want, when situationally I feel it's right and thing. So I mean, it's a land that doesn't take up like a real spot in the deck, So this could see play. Honestly, it could. I don't think it's quite good enough. Cause, I mean, it is 2 mana, draw 2 cards if you have an artifact and enchantment, so it does get rid of your land drop, which sucks. But it could see play. I don't know. Mech Hanger. Land, taps for colorless. Tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a pilot or vehicle spell. Pay 3. Tap target vehicle becomes an artifact creature until the end of the turn. Nah, I don't think vehicles are going to be a thing, so no. Secluded Courtyard. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Tap, add 1 colorless, or tap, add 1 mana of any color. Spend this only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type or activate an activated ability of a creature of the chosen type. Okay, so this is just the one from Ixalan, but better because it can also activate their abilities. Um, this is fine if you're in like some kind of like pseudo tribal thing. I don't think it's gonna see play because our the CEDH decks generally don't have a tribal theme very much, and some of them do, but they don't. They don't really care about this land. Like Winota, she cares about having humans and non-humans, but she's too inconsistent on what she wants. There's some goblin decks out there that like could run this, but in that is mono red. Just shove a bunch of mountains in there and call it good. You're just gonna play Blood Moon and make this a mountain anyway. Like, I don't know. It could see play. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, but at the same time, I don't think so. I don't think it's good enough. And then we're into multicolor lands. Okay. I'm not gonna go over artifacts here. I'll go over artifacts in another one. Um, yeah. So that was it for the white section. There was actually very little that I thought was playable. So I'll kind of scroll through here really quick. Again, Ow the Dawn Sky. If you can do some weird loop with it, it could be cool. March of the Overworldly Light could be really cool. The Lion Sash is actually like probably the most exciting card for white, just because it's scavenging. It's just a white scavenging ooze, which is really good. Soul of Kodaya, the Soul of Kamigawa. It'll see play as a commander for no reason whatsoever. It's because it's 5 color. It'll see play, but Norkia Yamazaki, the poet. She's cool. I think that she could see some fringe play, but she really shouldn't see much. Banishing Slash. If only this was an instant. That's just what I'm going to title this card. If it was an instant, this card could be great. It's not. Was that it for white? Pretty much. Oh yeah, Lucky Offering. This is white nature pseudo white weaker nature's claim, which it needed. So there you go. I think that was it. Oh yeah, we got the Bellower down here. Way the fuck down here. Yeah. And then when we're here, you got Doggo, who's cool. Drum Bellower, which could see play. And that's probably it. So, all right, that concludes this. There was like, I don't know, 5, 6 white cards that actually might see play, but I don't know. Still cool. This set does look really cool. I'm really excited for Kamigawa. I'm very curious on where the story is gonna go. Uh, yeah, I've seen some theories about it. I think this set's super cool, super cool. So let me know what you guys think of this set. Let you know if I can speak today. Let me know if you disagree with any of my appraisals of these cards. If something I'm missing, like, oh, this combos with this thing, let me know. Like, there's obviously things that I'm gonna miss. There's so many cards in Magic, I cannot possibly think of them all. But yeah, uh, thanks for watching. This was Remedy X with all things nerdy, and have a good day.